Hello, everybody. Let us present to you the Nestlé company and its financial statements for 2023. Nestlé is a food and beverage industry which was founded in 1866 in Switzerland. It's one of the largest food companies worldwide, operating in 188 countries and currently selling more than 2,000 brands globally. This company operates in all six continents. It has over 270,000 employees, and its main source of revenue are powdered and liquid beverage, pet care, nutrition, and health science. The balance sheet summarizes the company's assets, liabilities, and shareholders' equity at a specific point in time. It follows an order in which the lower the assets, the more liquid they are. On the Nestle balance sheet, the current assets represent 29% of the assets, while 71% represent the non-current ones. Nestle is a manufacturing company, and that requires a lot of share stock. That's why the inventories are 11,896 billion, becoming the biggest amount of current assets. In the non-current assets, the biggest value found is 30,467 million for property, plant, and equipment, which are long-term, tangible assets used in a company's operation, such as land, buildings, machinery, and of course, equipment. In this balance sheet, we can see from the liabilities that there's quite high trade and other payables with the value of 19,204 million frames, since they mostly sell goods. The total current liabilities are 37,800 million, which Nestle has to pay in the near time to come. Now, non-current liabilities is 53,079 million, which Nestle doesn't have to pay in the near future but in time, which makes the total liabilities of the companies 90,163 million frames.
Equity involves shareholder contributions along with retained earnings or cumulative deficit made by the business, and other gains and losses due to things such as currency translation. In 2023, retained earnings were 68.261 billion francs, which has fallen from previous years, yet still high, which happened due to Nestle buying back 5 billion francs worth of shares as part of the 3-year 20 billion share buyback program. To get the total equity, we add share capital, retained profits, and non-controlling interests, minus treasury shares, translation reserve, and other sorts of reserves, to get a final equity of 36.387 billion francs. Next, the income statement or statement of profit and losses of 2023 shows that Nestle's revenue was just short of 93 billion francs. The most sales revenue has come from powdered and liquid beverages, and the least by far has come from water. The most important sources of revenue are the sales, royalties, and investments, whilst the most important expenses are cost of goods sold, marketing, administration, and employee salaries.
When looking at the consolidated income statement, one can see that Nestle made 92,998 million in sales. The associated important expenses from the sales are the costs of goods sold, the distribution expenses, the marketing and administrative expenses, as well as the trading expenses. This then leads to a trading operating profit of 14,520 million and an operating profit of 14,063 million, which then leads to a profit before taxes, associates, and joint ventures of 12,703 million. Lastly, the profit of the year for the company was 11,509 million. After looking at the income statement, did Nestle make any profit or losses? The sum of the operating profits and financial profits is 12,703 million francs in profit before taxes. When we add the joint ventures and lastly subtract the taxes, the total profit that was made for the year was 11,509 million francs. The margins are divided into two different parts. The net profit margin shows the total income the company gets, which was 12.1%, which is a high profit when keeping the expenses the company has in mind. And the operating profits show if the company is performing their core business activity well or not. In this case, Nestle had 15.6%, which indicates a good performance in their core activities without the influence of external factors. By looking at the earnings per share, it shows that Nestle had a good year because they reached 4.24 billion francs, indicating a 23.7% increase in comparison to the year before. This shows that Nestle's main priority is the ability to generate value for shareholders while also showing strong operating strategies. Thank you for listening.